Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here. I am honored. Like, everyone in this room, you're awesome. Thank you for putting this together. It's my first time here at SimFest, so I'm very honored to be here and excited to share with you a little bit of my story. And also, later today, around 2:15, I'll get more into how to bridge the gap between an influencer and marketing your video game. So if you're interested in that, we'll definitely dive into that a little bit more. But for right now, I just want to talk to you guys, kind of get a feel of where we should go with this conversation, because who in here is a streamer or is trying to stream? Ooh, that's actually a really good number of hands. Very, very. And then you're already a streamer and retired and have moved on to be a game dev. So your story is a little bit better than mine. But so to those that are interested in streaming, the first 10 minutes of my story hopefully will inspire you or help you or answer any questions you might have. And like I said, I'll be on a panel later today with Michael Brown as our moderator, talking more about like that story. But for right now, I'm self-made, and a lot of my success actually is thankfully from GGDA, right? I was a streamer, and I didn't know how to point myself down the right lane or what to do with streaming, right? I worked in IT, and I was like, I would like to be a streamer. I want to be a broadcaster, but I didn't know how to do that. I had all the right tools, and in like 2017, I just started streaming. I hit that live button. I played World of Warcraft. I had a great time. Started playing Overwatch, and then that's when I started to learn about community and how community will follow you or join in on the gameplay and have a really good time with you or just share in memorable moments, which is what I started to learn and love. But then I started to get into more education. So in 2019, I was enjoying Overwatch, having a great time, and one day someone said, hey, we're looking for a host. We want to go to an EDM festival here in Georgia, and we need someone to bridge the gap between musicians and gamers. And I was like, that's the coolest concept I've ever seen. We had Shaq on the floor with us. We had amazing, like, sudden death if you're a metal kid, and it was just really cool to be like, hi, Shaq really likes Mario Kart. So we were able to get him to come hang out with us, and all my role in the whole thing was just to make him feel comfortable and have a good time. And he wasn't able to play. He wasn't. We got him. We got him to sit on the couch. His hand was bigger than my face. He took the controller, and then he like looked at the TV, but behind the TV was just a sea of cameras. Like, there was no way he was actually able to play. So it was a learning experience for one, the production group I was with, and two, as a host. Like, I would have been like, the cameras need to stay away. We need to like keep him here. We actually need a green room technically for gaming. So it was really cool. It was really cool. It was one of those experiences. And so I try to recapture that with gaming. But, you know, as Ron was saying earlier, you do get a job. Like, how can you make a living off of streaming? How can you keep it going? Some of us are super successful in a community that keeps us going, but that's like, you have to stream every single day. You never go down. You have to like be in a community and stick to that community, and basically that's what you do. And if you are talented like this one right here, Thor, then you'll have a support group that helps keep you going, right? Whereas with me, I was doing great streams, full-time broadcasting, but I was only making $16,000 a year. That's like not enough to live off of. So I just kept going, and I tried my best, and I just could feel time ticking away. You know, like by the time I hit 30, I need to definitely like, you know, look into more careers. So I started putting myself out there more. I would try my best to put myself in situations like right now where I would be in front of a camera, and hopefully someone's like, that's what I need. I need you to do that for me. And now I do that for a company called Ant Online, Atlanta Network Technologies. And what we do is we market video games. So an example of that is Diablo 4 just came out. Anybody playing that or loving that? Any rogues in chat? No? Barbarians? Yeah, let's get, we got the barbs. So like the rogue barb combo is like my favorite. But what we had to do is we spent months putting together an execution plan for that game. When early access came out, Blizzard provided us 500 early access keys. And then we had to be like, what are we going to do with that? So my role in that was, of course, I'd like to stream it, but we had to do long hours of broadcasting, and for one person that was too hard. So I actually put together a stream team to help me with it, and now we're still going strong. They're still with the company, and like we have a basic schedule, but whenever a game launches, I think the next anticipated game is like Starfield. So, but like my role in all of that was like giving the assets that Ants Online had. I had to then put together the plan, where we started streaming Monday for 2 weeks when the game released. And during that process, it was like, okay, so what hours will these streamers be streaming? And then how are they going to bring in viewers? How are they going to keep engagement? How are we going to get them to chat? So those are things that I'm constantly thinking about when it comes to like games like that. And it's a really fun thing, but like in all honesty, I'm putting in more time and effort to like sit in a chair for a few hours. Like I'm doing more stuff in the background than I am actually on stream. So there's a lot of work that goes into it. And so go back to 2017 when I tried streaming, I'm like, I just turn the camera on and hope for the best. Like we all want that, but that's just not how it works. There's so much background in that. And then like working with influencers to help the growth. Like I said, I'll touch on that a little bit later. But yeah, so I'm already out of content. My content has depleted. But I wanted to like ask anybody who had questions about streaming or what it's like working with the streamers or anything like that. So while I have you all here, which is a lot of you, I was expecting like a few people, I'd love to answer all your questions. Yeah, we already have one in the back. Yeah, so multiplayer is easier because with multiplayer, you can like get people to play with you, or you can show them all the fun things they can do online. But my specialty is RPGs. I love role-playing games, like so Diablo, for example, when that came out. I knew how Blizzard marketed their games, so I was like, I really need to jump on that because that'll really help the growth. But two, I'm passionate about the game. So when you have that influencer that knows the ins and out of that specific game, it's just so much easier because when you go watch a streamer and they look bored, do you like watching them? Yeah. So basically, it's like when you come to the channel, for example, I'm streaming Diablo, and I'm like playing the rogue, and I'm having a great time, and I'm cursing at all the demons, and it's really engaging, and you're like, oh, how did she execute that move? You're going to want to jump in chat and talk with me about it. So I could be playing that game solo, or I could be playing my friends, but no matter what, you're just going to see that. And it's the same thing that applies to multiplayer to RPG. You're just going to want to learn more about that game and ask that streamer, and that's kind of the influencer's role when it comes to the game. Yeah! You in the back, the urchin! Yes, yes. So there's different types of broadcasts for sure, but I always do 50% attention. So if I could give all my attention to the game, I'd actually look good at it. But the thing is I don't, because I have to give the chat attention. And there are a lot of viewers, they have the argument that they want their streamer to engage with them. And then there's other viewers that are like, just play the game. Like you're good at it, I want you to play it. So it really depends on your viewers, but like I always do 50-50. And keeping that energy is extremely hard to do. And that's why like I will spend a week planning something out, go live on a Tuesday from 1 to 7, and from 1 to 7 I'm just lit. I'm like a candle. So that's why streamers are just on. They have to turn themselves on, and then when we're done streaming, we hit that button, turn it off. It's like the world just like put a veil over your face, and you need to go like decompress and sleep and stuff. So I definitely put 50-50 in, and that's when you're live, right? Then there comes the recording process. There's YouTubers that actually sometimes they don't actually go live. They just want to film themselves showing off a game or like doing skills. So you'll see websites out there that are like Wikipedias. Like game wikis, and you'll see videos that are pre-made and uploaded. So that's another form of broadcasting. There they don't really need to worry about chat. They can just focus on the gameplay or showing you where specific locations are in a game or giving you tutorials and stuff. That was a great question. Anyone else? Yes? Raise it high, much higher. Yes. A little background about me. I started on Twitch, and then the community that really grabbed me, 2019, was Mixer. and I ended up joining Mixer. And when you're on Twitch, there's so many people, it's saturated, right? And you're trying to make it, and you should be proud if you've got 10 viewers. Honestly, 10 to 30 viewers, like, you should be really proud. However, if you go to another platform, so this is kind of where I'm seeing Kick come in, where there's a lot of engagement and community building. That's where I see the superpower of Kick. I can feel where it might be like Mixer. It might not be there in the long run. So to me, I'm looking at that platform as a place to build more engagement, bring in more viewers, and then that could feed into your main platform, or you could make Kick your main platform. It really depends on you and your community as an influencer or streamer, what works best for you and where your viewership comes from. And like I had said, I was on a platform. Microsoft ended up like selling it, and now it's like something else, and it was unfortunate. They handed us all Facebook gaming partnerships as like ooh, sorry, go over to metagaming, so thanks, which I still have, and it's great. And the argument these days is with Twitch and how they're paying their streamers and how that all works. I'm glad I kept that partnership because I had an agreement where I'd make more money over there. So you pick a platform, make it your home, but in my experience, you are the kingdom. Don't make your platform the kingdom, right? So you just need to tell your viewers and your followers or anyone that supports you, even if, like, sponsors, be like, that's why your website is like the most important thing when it comes to marketing yourself as a streamer. I had put all my focus in one platform, and then when it went down, I lost a lot. So after that, I decided to diversify. My superpower as an influencer is I might not have a lot of views on my channel, but I have 5 different social platforms where I get really good engagement on. So an example of that is today, I was like, I'm coming out here, I made sure to post on every single platform, so all my viewers and all my followers of different types, because I do cosplay, I do video game reviews, I like just highlights of games, no matter where, they all see it. So my reach is on different platforms. So that was a good question. That was a really good question. Anyone else? Yes. Your hand was fast. I'm sorry. He was just really fast. You're just like, wow. So when it comes to like joining a game, so I've learned a lot from Thor here. And he's going to be on a platform later today for play testing, but he's also a broadcaster, so you should definitely go there if you want to ask him any questions. But it's about community. It's about like which community you vibe with. So if you want to show off that you're really good at Street Fighter 6, you got to join the Street Fighter 6 community, and you got to engage with their streamers. You got to engage with the community. But for me, sorry, the question was me. What was my game? Definitely New World. So Amazon Game Studios, it was New World, where it was my first time managing a guild or a bigger group of people. So I had 97 people in that group. So when I would go live, they would all come hang out. And then it was really nice on Twitch because Amazon Game Studios and Twitch had a partnership where their streamers have drops. So it brings incentive to their stream to like hang out and watch you. He was first. It happens. It happens. Sometimes they'll be like, here, we're going to give you this set number of product, and we expect this from you if it's in your contract. Sometimes they're like, here, take it. Go do whatever it is. Like, for example, I'm partnered with G Fuel, and they knew I was doing a Diablo 4 stream, and they gave me a whole bunch of tubs to give out to folks. And I was like, do I have to give them all out? They're like, no, just like build hype around G Fuel. So like, it really depends on what's written in your contract. And if someone does give you something, you have to say it was a paid partnership these days. I was on a panel at DragonCon last year with Andrew where we had a lawyer there, and he said you definitely want to make sure that anything given to you for free from a partnership says that it's a paid partnership. Your hand. So his question is, how do you bridge that gap for a dev and an influencer? How are you supposed to reach out to them? So I personally love it when I'm streaming and the dev comes hang out and chat. You build a relationship with your influencer that way. But if you're a dev and you're like, I ain't got time, I do not, sorry, my language, I do not have time for that, then then there's you have different levels of influencers. Some have agents. You always sometimes have to go through that agent, or you can work directly with that influencer. It depends if they have one. So if they have an agent, it's kind of disrespectful to go straight to the streamer and not talk to the agent. But for me personally, I love it when a dev comes and like engages with me. Because one, I know that I'm showing off their product, their game, the way that they like, because they're here. Why else would they be hanging out and stream? And the other is just they're building a relationship with me. And I get emails all the time, like, hey, test out our game, try out our game, and I don't read those emails. It's just I don't have time, so it just that's where it comes in. Like there's at the beginning it was cool, and I was trying out games. I think the last game I really jumped on board was Blessed Unleashed, where they had a bunch of influencers streaming their game when it came out. This is a good question. Good question. Another one. Multi-stream is really good at diversifying, getting yourself out there, but you're cutting your views in half, or you're not like really paying attention to that viewership on that platform because you're splitting your attention. It's like, I would suggest if you want to tackle one platform, just focus on that platform. If you're trying to get your content uploaded to that, for example, so you could focus on Twitch, but your YouTube is where your content ends up, and you can use that or you can showcase that later, provide that to sponsors, you can show that to, like just partners. But I would focus on the one platform that you're trying to grow instead of like splitting your attention on two. That's mixed. Someone else might say something different though. Yeah, so what's the word for it? Chats per minute? CPM. So, like, which chat's actually active? Who's actually in the room with you? Like, if I was standing on, like, a door, like, if I was in the door and I had two platforms going, I would look into the room that had the people in it and be like, I'm going to take care of this, right? And then say they all go to lunch, they leave, I would jump into the other room and make sure I'm paying attention to the other room. Yeah, so you have to just like really gauge. It's like constantly as a streamer, you're like bouncing back and forth on like what's going on. A lot of streamers when you're starting don't pay attention to numbers, but as you want to like start growing, you kind of need to like pay attention to your CPM. I do that. Like I don't pay attention to average views anymore. It's engagement. It's just like who's live, who's actually there. You want to take care of that. Yeah. I saw your hand. What did Andrew? Yeah. What did Andrew say? So SimFest last year, they're doing that right now, and now at this point, it's been alive since last year. It's got 15,000 views on it. So the beauty of YouTube and Facebook is when you upload your video and you're done, it stays there and it still has engagement with people. So I have a video that I posted 4 years ago, and it like hit 4 million views, and it was just not 4 million, I wish, but like 4. 12,000. But it was a lot. It was like I never would have thought when I posted that. So when you post on YouTube or Facebook, it basically just continues to live. Whereas on Twitch, I feel like it's like a live thing. Like it's like going live on like Instagram stories where it'll just fade away eventually. Twitch is kind of trying to cultivate the old broadcasts where you can like put up your highlights these days, or you have something from like 4 years ago that you could be like, this is what I want you to see when you go to my channel. But they didn't really do that before. So by having your rebroadcast or your broadcast put up, it'll stay alive. And you can share that at any time, or you can promote it and make it relevant again. That's a good question. Yes, I like your shirt, by the way. All the time, every single day. Every single day. I think that's the fun part. Streaming is like day to day. To be honest, something crazy will happen, and the next day it'll be like, okay, even if it was a bad day or a good day, I just have to continue to go live the next day. But a funny story. I can't think of any off the top of my head. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you. Yeah, because I feel like I'm fumbling through my streams. Every day. What? You have to say it. So we stream together sometimes and we bicker. So that's pretty entertaining. People think it's so funny because he's really good at games and I'm terrible at him. And he's like pulling me around places. So we do have a really special guest coming after me, but before I'd like to keep like any more questions. Yes, in the back. Awesome. Yeah. 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 That's That's a wonderful question. I have a perfect example. Does anyone know Fanaticus? They're based in Atlanta. They work on VR development. Yeah, Fanaticus. So they came out with Potato Party, and it was a VR game. And Michael had reached out to me, and I really liked them. I bonded with their game. I bonded with the team at Access Replay in Atlanta. And they were working on a game for Hogwarts, and it was a broom where you can actually sit on the broom and then it would go into the game and you could fly around. It was really fun. So that's how we bonded. And then they reached out to me later, like Tygarlily. We remember you coming and hanging out and loving on our game, and we're going to launch a new game. And we would like you to help us market it. And so what I did was I got with Michael and played the game, learned a lot about it, and later I was like, we need to market this because he's like the most important part of a game when it releases is when it releases. So the first 7 days a game is released on Steam is where most of its profit comes from, right? So I was like, I'm a streamer, so why don't we use me to market this? So what his goal was to get wish lists, and he wanted reviews on the game. And I was like, okay, I can do that, right? You gave me tangible goals that I can reach as a streamer, and I can get my community on board with it. So what I did was then I went back to my community and I said, hey, this game is awesome. I want you guys to help me build content around this. So I got them to play the game with me. They loved it. It's a super silly game. Potato Party is you go into a VR and everybody gets on their phones and they get to play with you while you're in the headset. And it's like Pictionary where the person in the headset gets to draw and everyone on their phones has to guess what it is and you get points and then someone wins. It's really, really fun. And so they had a great time playing with me. And I was like, I knew my community would love that. That's something I as a streamer needed to understand. And organically, without like none of their reviews are fake. I said, hey guys, can you go wishlist it now? And they're like, yeah, we'll do it. It'll be fine. And then I was like, okay, when it comes out, I want you all to write reviews and write your favorite moment in the game. And they did. So when the game came out, I don't have the numbers. I can't provide that to you right now. So that's how he utilized me as a streamer. And that's how I like helping the indie game community. It was like, one, I loved the game. And two, it's like, how can we really like boost this when it releases on Steam? So that was a great question. Any last? Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The organic streamers, the real people, it takes years. It takes so many years. When you first start off, might be your mom, might be your brother that's hanging out with you in the channel. Ultimately, when I started, my moderators really helped cultivate me as a streamer. I'd be like, hey, sometimes I don't know what to talk about. Can you just like help me in chat? And then they'd be like, okay, you need to focus on this. Or when a streamer would come, like a new person would come into stream, they would like help take care of them. If you don't have a moderator like that, sometimes you could be the moderator. Kind of have to like have the streamer personality and the moderator personality. But I started streaming in 2014. I averaged like 5 to 10 views. When I went over to Mixer in 2019, I started to grow more engagement. So this is where Kick comes in. This is why I think Kick is so important. You can like build that up and be like, hey, you really like me, but I stream on Twitch. Come hang out with me over there. So then they'll come. They need to know where to find you. So just networking, going out, putting yourself out there, building real relationships, like people that generally care about your content and you. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time to cultivate that. And so people are going to see that, and then they're going to join in on it, right? But you're going to have your core group. My core group is 30 viewers. No matter if my numbers go up to 300, up to 1,500, but those 30 viewers, that's my core group. Those are the people I love and take care of, and when they need something, I'll make sure that they get that. So, yeah. Yes. Okay, last question of the day. Yes. Something niche. So you want to bring people to you, right? So you're going to like moments that are super exciting, moments that are that make you laugh, or moments that you're just like, man, I am showing off right now and I need to share this. You want to clip that 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and you want to put that on a platform that you are getting engagement. When I worked with Fanaticus, we tried our best to do Reddit. So the VR dev section of Reddit, we would post little clips of our videos being like, we want to show off this awesome part of the game, or in this case it was a game dev, so we were sharing it with other game devs being like, we're really proud of this moment. So you have to like really put that out there, and someone's going to see that, and you have to make sure they know where to find you. And that's where the fine line of like self-promotion. Not a lot of people like that. I think really what it is you just have to have, for example, you could have your Twitter, and it could just show really awesome clips or pictures of you getting ready for stream or showing off you in the game, and people are going to start to see that, and then they'll be like, okay, and just like have your link in your bio, so that way it doesn't feel super self-promoting. They'll like eventually be like, this guy's playing this game and it looks really cool, what the heck is it? And he clicks your name, and then your like wherever it is that you're making that content will be in the bio. Yay! Well, everyone, thank you again for having me. It is time! It is time! Yes!